This is the Georgia Dawgs podcast on the Bleav Podcast Network.
It did. Wilcox with an up and out. Wide open. Touchdown. Israel Troop.
Snap to Young. Drops back. Pressure from the edges. He throws near sideline. And it's intercepted. Intercepted. Keely Ringo at the 21. Off he goes. 40, 50, 45, 40, 35, 30. Near sideline. Breaks the tackle. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. 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 Georgia.
Good evening, neighborhood. How about them dogs?
32, 18. Let the celebration begin.
All right, good evening. Happy Sunday. It is the Bleav in Georgia Dawgs podcast on the Bleav Network, as it says right on down below. Joining me, getting his first win as offensive coordinator for the Gators of Ware County, it's my man, Israel Troop. Troop, what's up, dude?
Yeah, it was a great win for us. We as a collective, we did such a great job. I'm excited, man. We played in a rain-soaked monsoon of a storm, but we managed to pull it off. Our defense played great. That's really what cut this season. So it was exciting times. Ball started this past Saturday, and the big games are this Saturday. And I'm so excited.
Absolutely, man. It was. We got a little bit of taste of it this weekend. Here it comes. This next weekend, 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central Time. It is the Georgia Bulldogs kicking off against the Ducks of Oregon, led by our man Dan Lanning. So, but we're going to talk about that for sure. That's definite must. But we want to kind of recap. One of our conference brethren had a huge game this weekend. We'll talk about that because you not only watched it, but you won some on Betonline, who happens to be they happen to be the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews, news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. If you really want, you can probably find some MLS, some La Liga, EPL, whatever you want to find. You could probably find it. BetOnline continues to be the online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use that mobile device. Join and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BLEAV50. That's BLEAV50, BLEAV 50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, it's where the game starts. Dude, I'm kind of jealous because I picked Vandy in the over, and every time I bet, I lose. Every time I don't bet and I say, hey, this is what it is, man, I would have hit big.
Yeah, I hit big, man. I lost the Mercer Moorhead game. Not an alum. Gave me a little bit of bad intel to begin with because I'd already put the bet in, and he texted me as soon as I hit, and he was like, "Never mind, change that." But it was a good week for me this week. So, BetOnline, I appreciate it, and anybody who is watching, listening, BetOnline is to use. Easy to use.
So easy.
There's multiple ways to play. You can play the spread. You can play it. You can do whatever you want to. So if I were you, if you're in just for a little bit, place a wager on the game, BetOnline is to use.
Gotcha. So did you take the parlay, or did you just go straight up, or did you take like a multiple game parlay?
I tried the parlay, which I'm glad I didn't, because Mercer absolutely destroyed Moorhead State, and that would have lost me the whole thing. But I took Vandy, New Mexico State, which they let me down. I took.
That's definitely a good thing you didn't go.
Yeah. I forget who else I took, but I won 4 out of 6. So, that ain't bad.
There you go. Yeah, I would have taken a little same game parlay there with the points in the over, or maybe even the money line in the over. But we'll make our picks later on. against the spread, you can take them or leave them. Probably take Israel's, leave mine at the door because I've had not so good luck on my picks. I went with Nebraska. Glad I didn't bet that one.
Yeah, I did not go with Nebraska.
I'm not gonna
pull that one off for a second.
Yeah, there you go. I'm not gonna kick an onside kick up 2 scores in the third quarter.
Oh,
just not gonna do it. So
the squib and the onside is 2 kicks that just need to be eliminated from football, in my opinion. Unless you're down and you need to get and you need the onside kick, don't do it. Don't squib it. Just keep deep in the whole field.
Yeah. Now, if you're in high school and that's about all you can do, fine.
By all means,
but
be good at covering.
By all means. Mm-hmm. Which we weren't Friday night. We squibbed one, and we had just we got down big again, and then we scored. So we cracked the door open to maybe try to get back in the game, and we had just kind of got a little bit of momentum, like pushing the door open, and we squib it. And not only did we only have 10 players out there on the coverage team, we squib it, and they ran right where the 10th player would have been. Another guy ran out of his lane, and they housed it and slammed the door right back in our face.
That door sounds like it closed quickly there, brother.
It did. Closed real quickly to the tune of 47-14. But they have a player on there that my cousin called me and asked me about who I think could be a good receiver for Georgia. But on the other hand, I've heard his GPA starts with a 1, so and it ain't 1.9.
Ooh. Yeah. That ain't gonna cut it.
So not sure that's gonna work out for him. He was committed to Michigan State and he just decommitted, and I heard that's the reason why.
Yeah, he did.
It was kind of like exactly. They said, "Hey, you're going to decommit because we're not going to pull the offer publicly, but you just need to go on and decommit." You got till, I guess they gave him a deadline probably. So, that was our Friday night. We had a few errant snaps. Now we're going under center. Not a great night, but we came out of halftime and drove it right down for our second touchdown. Beautiful drive. So try to get a little bit of positive momentum. Had a few things go well.
When a couple of things go well, you kind of build off of it week by week.
Yeah.
Try to give your kids some positives leading to hopefully starts clicking. Hey, is that you're young.
We're 2 for 2 on our special.
There you go.
We run a special play. We're 2 for 2 on it.
There you go. Week by week, get better each week.
We've ran it twice, scored twice. We've scored 14 of our 21 points on the season on this one play.
There you go.
So I like it. I can at least point to that and say, okay, well, at least we were 2 for 2 on the special play.
Oh yeah.
But who could have used a little bit of that luck was Hawaii. They didn't get that. Mike Wright, holy cow, dude, he can run.
Oh yeah, I tell you what, though, that first drive together at the beginning of the game was pretty sporty. I like the multiple. They're playing fast. I mean, they play very well. I think the experience of Vandy, just kind of overwhelmed them a little because they didn't panic like they normally do.
No,
things weren't going well offensively down after that first drive. So I think Vandy's going to be better. They still have to go through the
they're going
to see in those games. So at the end of the day, I think Vandy had a really good showing in Hawaii, and I think Vandy's going to do some really good things here real soon.
Yeah, they're going to start the season off. They're going to roll into Tuscaloosa 3-1. I think. They've got some good things going on in year 2. Last night they finished with 604 total yards on offense. They rushed for 407. 163 of them came from Mike Wright on 13 carries. Scored 2 of them. He threw for 2 more. He was 13 of 21 passing for 140 yards. They take on Elon next week in Nashville. So, or this week, I should say. So they have a chance to get 2-0 start the season. So
I'm impressed with the quarterback. Man. He's a tough kid. You know, he missed a couple of reasons. They want to say the first 2 series. You know, after that he settled in. You know, for a quarterback, obviously, you know, it always takes a little minute for you. You know, you get your feet up on you, but after that, I mean, that's so. I think they got the right guy.
Impressed.
I think they showed what they said. Andy might be a sleeper. He might.
They might not finish in the cellar. Might not finish dead last. After all,
right now is very like at this very moment.
Yeah, that Missouri game just got real interesting. Missouri probably watching that going, okay, this is not good.
Yeah.
They watch Mike Wright. They're like, they're just going to watch him scamper all over. He's going to be a problem for a lot of people.
Absolutely. And he's smart.
And those uniforms they rock, man.
I like those helmets.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the V doesn't look
bad. It does not look that bad.
And we spent I'm getting choked up over here. We spent all off season making fun of that V. It actually looks pretty good on a helmet. Not sure about any other uniform. And they still rock the star V on the chest, but it does not look bad on the helmet. And I like the stripes. I like that. They should stick with these white helmets. This is a good look for them.
I did. I like it. You know, when you just put the V on paper, it does not look good at all. But like you said, when you put it on the helmet, you know, it look good. So, you know, you look good, you play good, and they play good last night. It'll be good to see.
They certainly did.
Trying to get back to competitive.
Yeah, and this was a historic night for them. This is the first time they've beat an FBS opponent with more than 56 points since 1948. It's the first time they've eclipsed 56 points since 1948.
I bet they were.
That was their highest total. Oh yeah, they were. Did you see that play with Will Shepherd? They were down. It was Vandy's first touchdown, actually.
No, I missed that one. I called it right about the second half, I think it was. And then after that, because I was like, this game is pretty late.
I hear that, man.
All the other games before that, I completely forgot Vandy played at like 10:30.
Yeah, I hear that.
A lot of games kind of said.
Yeah. So we're gonna try this on this professional gram here. I'm gonna show you this play. I'm gonna show our viewers this play. So I'm gonna check out this function right here. I'm gonna see if I'm able to show my screen. Let's see. I'm gonna share. Okay, maybe later. Okay, maybe later. But the play was Hawaii forgetting to cover the wide receiver, Will Shepherd. Did they just?
Yeah,
they
just,
you
need to look.
They just and he's tall too. You can't miss him.
Yeah, he's kind of the guy.
Kind of important, right? Yeah.
In the box,
they just forgot. Yep, they just forgot to get over there, and Mike Wright couldn't get the thing out of his hands fast enough. So yeah, that was pretty hilarious. But it was a 1 yard. It was from the one. He looks out there. It's like, okay, so I'm going to run into this loaded box, or I'm going to throw it over here to this guy that I'm just going to throw it to the uncovered guy here. Let's let him go. But let's see. The Honolulu Star advisor. Let's see what they have to say. Let's see their headline here. Vanderbilt crushes University of Hawaii in Timmy Chang's head coaching debut. The Timmy Chang era as University of Hawaii football coach got off to a promising start. The cold, hard reality of what might be to come set in quickly after Hawaii's opening drive on both sides of the ball, as Vanderbilt crushed the Rainbow Warriors 63-10 Saturday night in front of its first sellout crowd. 9,346 to attend a game at Clarence T.C. Ching Athletic Complex. The writer that I'm going to give credit to is Billy Hull of the Star Advisor in Honolulu.
It's a great article from your local news.
I know it's a great line to see when you're, not good, not good at all.
But I think Hawaii is going to be pretty good. They get a couple of recruits in. Coach. They just need a couple of.
He's a great coach. He just needs to get settled. It's really what happened.
Get a couple people in. I think they'll be fine. Nothing to panic about yet.
No, not at all. So let's talk about this week now before we get into our picks here. What have you seen from the Ducks? Like, what is
seen much, man.
Dan Lanning now for the Ducks, you're gonna have to contain Noah Sewell. That's for sure, right? You're gonna have to contain him. He's gonna be one of the defensive stalwarts. He is projected first team all conference. Him and Bennett Williams and Brandon Dorless are all preseason first team all conference projected on defense. So Dan Lanning has some weapons that he can work with at his disposal. So they have one at each level, and they can get after the passer pretty good.
Yeah, I think if we do our homework, I think we'll be fine. I think we have more firepower offensively to let three guys, hurt us. They're not, although they're big conference guys. No Will Anderson's over there.
No.
Or Thibodeau. Thibodeau's gone as well.
Right.
I think at this point, I think it's just staying within ourselves. Work the game plan, work your formations, get the ball to you, we'll be fine. I don't think this is a game we need to overthink. I think this is a game to where what works, kind of see what formations, you can get in to kind of take one, get Stetson comfortable early, kind of shake the cobwebs off, establish the run, and then everything take care of itself then. What I'm worried about is Bo Nick on the other side of the ball. He knows Georgia, just like Coach Lanning knows what kind of offensively. And we all know that Bo Nix is a runner. How do we contain him? We know that he likes to get out the pocket early. Do we kind of go with the same game plan against him? Although it's a new coordinator for them. Bo Nix hadn't changed. So until he established the fact that he can throw the football, I think kind of heat him up and let him make mistakes. As we know, it's going to come off early that he's going to make a mistake.
Yeah, and he's gonna likely compound it. Like if you can stay on him, he's gonna compound it, trying to make up for the last mistake that he made, and he's gonna keep going. That's where he got in trouble at Auburn. The same goes with if something goes well, it kind of starts to pile on. He starts to get a little confident. So he's a very streaky player, either good or bad. But the Ducks need more explosive plays. They had only 10 plays of 40 or more yards last year. Can you believe that?
That does not sound like the Oregon Ducks that we all know and we've loved over the years. With Mariota.
That's what they were missing against That's what they were missing against Utah.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, Utah came in that game with a plan, and they executed the plan. I think Utah, phenomenal team. A lot of the commentators and analysts have them to the playoff from winning the Pac-12.
I do.
Or Pac-10, whichever one they have.
Yeah, I got them. I'm a Ute believer here.
Coach Whittingham does a great job with him, and they play hard for him every single play.
They really do.
So they be a power team, to look forward to, and I think they're going to run the Pac-10 or 12, however many teams they got over there now. I think they're going to
be the Pac-8.
So, but Oregon's going to be a great test for us. They're always going to come with speed. They always have great size, and they're always pretty well coached. It's just one of them. It's a big stage for them. Coach Lanning's first And now Kirby's to the point now where he's the head coach, with assistants being head coaches now. So who's going to be the first to beat him?
I just don't think it's going to be. I just don't think it's going to be Oregon. I just don't think they have the depth. I don't think people realize how deep teams in the SEC are, and how much speed actually exists. I mean, I know Dan Lanning understands it because he's coached it for the last 6 seasons, but I just don't think people realize how big and fast and strong these teams are up front. It's not the skill guys that kill you. It's the people inside. It's the big bodies. It's the heavy bellies.
Oh yeah,
heavy bellies. I mean, you got guys like Jordan Davis, who is 360 pounds and runs a 4.7.
Yeah,
like that's a load, dude.
See this defensive front and this linebacker core at it. I think we're going to be fine. We're going to do what we do in the secondary. We're looking forward to seeing, can we, first and foremost, that's most important than anything, and can we get pressure on the quarterback? That's what
we need to heat up Bo Nix. I mean, that's unforced errors. They need to put the ball on the ground, all that good stuff. Our guy, DGD, is back in the show. If you want to get in the chat, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, jump in, and we will see you in the chat. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this chat overlay right over here. But yeah, I just think it's, if we can get past this veteran offensive line, they return all 5 of their starters. So 5 of their 7 starters returning on offense are offensive linemen. They have 7 on defense as well, and they return their specialty unit. So, something's got to give for this team. It's a very veteran team, which I think is an advantage for them as they enter Pac-12 competition. But again, this Oregon defense is going to see a Georgia offense that returns a lot of players, even not even technically starters, but just players that played significant snaps.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Looking at depth chart today, new this one is, but we got AD starting at X, Z, and case at Y. And our 3 receivers, there's 3 guys right there that just, did a phenomenal job for us last year. Our returners, 2 sophomores and a senior, who decided to come back and join the party. Up front, we got Jones. Mims talked about it earlier. And they moved Mims to guard. Remember, if you're on the play, he'd find a way. But on this depth chart, as he's moved to left guard, Van Pran's at center, Ratledge at guard, and then at right tackle. So, I know we talked was got a little banged up. But, right here, I mean, this is a power. This is a power offense, especially the tight ends we got with Bowers, Washington, and Gilbert coming off the bench. So, this is nice. You got McIntosh and Milton toting the pill with Dejon coming in too. So, we all know something up the sleeve for all those guys to use their talents.
It's kind of like a pick your poison type deal.
Absolutely.
It's do you want Bowers? Do you want Washington? Do you want Gilbert? Do you want McConkey? Do you want A.D. Mitchell? Do you want Kyrus? When those guys get tired, do you want Rosemy Jack Saint? When they get tired of tackling Milton and McIntosh, you want Dawan Edwards?
Yeah.
Where does this list stop? It's getting ridiculous.
So it is. It's a lot of picking on the offensive side of the ball. So I'm pretty sure the offensive staff has been hard at work planning for this week. I don't doubt that whatsoever. They're gonna come in with high energy. It's in Atlanta, so it's basically in our backyard. So the stands are gonna be black with a sprinkle of orange and yellow.
Yeah.
Of green and yellow. So it's going.
Well, they got to get Stat Quavius going.
Absolutely. Stetson's put on some weight, a little muscular, rocking the tip. So he may have a few tats. You never know. Walking the arm slip, what he's going to come out with.
Dude is going to come out with a gold chain, a freaking sleeve on his left arm,
Absolutely.
He's going to be buff as hell, and he's going to be
It's all
rocking.
swag.
He's going to be rocking the swaggiest shoes you've ever seen in your life.
Absolutely. So I'm excited to see us, kind of see what we build, what we built during the season. I'm excited to see this offensive line gel because that's going to be the most important. We got the guys out wide in the backfield and the quarterback to do it. But can we protect and can we establish the line of scrimmage? What's going to be most important? I think with what they got right now, I think it's going to be fun to watch.
Mm-hmm. They just got to be on the same page. Is really what it comes down to. If they're on the same page, like Robert said, Georgia gonna be eating again. Georgia gonna eat. Dog's gonna eat. Let the big dog eat. Right. That's what's gonna happen. And you can take that to the bank. We're gonna go over the betting odds when we make our official pick later. But I think it's gonna be a lot of fun to watch this game. I think the atmosphere is going to be electric. I don't think Oregon knows what they're really walking into.
No. I think Dan Lanning knows what they're walking into, but I don't think the team knows what they're walking into.
But can you adequately prepare them for that? Probably not, right?
The best is turn the music on full blast at practice with crowd noise, and hope your guys can handle it. Well, Bo Nix is experienced, so he'll be able to handle it. From a player standpoint because he's played stadiums.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, he did beat Alabama twice. Did he beat him twice? Just once.
Mm-hmm.
So he kind of knows.
I think he just beat him once.
Here,
yeah.
Of playing the SEC, so I don't think it'll shell shock him, but everybody else is, he's kind of gonna have to keep their composure.
Yeah. And again, they're gonna have to get some. Oregon's gonna have to get some big plays out of people that they weren't expecting to get big plays out of.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be the biggest thing. They're going to have to get something out of somebody that they don't expect. Like let's look at their depth chart here for the Oregon Ducks, who's a lot of people are picking them to win the conference. I got Utah for the playoff. Like Troy Franklin, like technically he's a starter. He's a new starter. They're expecting a little bit out of him, but like he's going to have something, right? Deontay Thornton, again, another receiver. Byron Cardwell, the running back. Like they're going to have huge games out of these guys. They're going to have a huge game running the ball against Georgia. That's usually the backbreaker there. If they can get chunks, big chunk plays.
It's kind of hard to run right at this defense, so they're going to have to find a way to get the ball to the perimeter, where there's screens, jet sweep, anything like that. They might implement a little power read concept with your gap scheme type stuff. It's going to be interesting to see how they, try to run. If they have to rely on Onyx's arm all night, then you might as well call it a wash and pray that they change so you can have a running clock, because it's going to get ugly fast. But they can establish the run a little bit. I think they have a fight. Although we picked Utah to win the conference, I also think that if they can have in this game, it's going to go a long way to their, playing in especially when they meet Utah as well, because this is going to be the most physical team they'll play until they meet.
Yeah, absolutely. Because looking at their schedule now, they have, obviously they start with us, but I think they go to Eastern. They have Eastern Washington, then BYU, at Washington State, and then October 1st is their first real physical team that they play in Stanford. Then they're at Arizona. Then they're home against UCLA. So between now and let's see, they don't get Utah until November 19th. So between now and November 19th, they get two really good teams.
Yeah.
Like their schedule is cake.
The Stanford Oregon game is up.
Like Cal is like, they're done, dude. Like, I mean, I love Justin Wilcox. That is a tough place to win. That is a tough place to do anything well. At Colorado, which they're scrappy, but they're still bottom of the barrel at this moment. Washington, No clue. The Jimmy Lake era was 1 year, and it was probably a program setback. At Oregon State, that's going to be a tricky game for them. Civil War.
Yeah, the Beavers
they're
are
in
always
Corvallis, and it's the last game in the history of Reser Stadium too, because I think they're tearing it down after this year. So that'll be a special one. So they've got a cake schedule until November 19th. They play 2 hard games between us. After they play us, they play 2 hard teams, Stanford and UCLA, and then they get to Utah.
It'd be kind of tough for them. BYU's always played tough.
It's not going to be a physical game though.
BYU,
but
the old.
It's not going to be a physical game though.
It'll be a good one.
Yeah, it'll be a good one. It'll be interesting, but it won't be one that like they're going to be in the cold tub Sunday morning.
When you're picking up
game. They won't. Yeah, that won't. It won't be like that. Like, it's good that they're playing Eastern Washington because this will be a black and blue game for them.
Yeah.
So I was reading through my favorite site, UJSports.com. My man Anthony Dasher wrote his dashboard. He's got his season and weekly predictions. This is a great article. They don't really sponsor us, so this is kind of a freebie, but Dash and Roddy do it right, man. So I have no problem giving them a little pub here. So he wrote a phenomenal article, and it's going to drive my next few questions here. So what's your biggest concern coming into this game?
Our front 7 defensively. Can we not really replace, but can we just maintain the dominance that we had last year? Because a lot of those guys played, like we've been saying, experience. They just haven't been in the predominant starter role. Can these guys, just kind of selling from last year? Of course, they're going to give a couple of points because the dominant factor, of that group that left was just amazing. You had people get out of their game plan of running the football. Alabama, for example, in that championship, didn't even try to run the ball. So can we, strike fear in people with the group that we have this year? That's kind of what I'm looking forward to, the front 7. Our secondary is our secondary. We kind of know how that's going to go. That's never,
you just got to kind of hang on.
Yeah, that's not really been like it was in secondary this week. It's more so that front defensive line and our linebackers.
Can they help out?
Yeah,
because we we have. I guess you can call it a weakness, but it is not the strongest part of our team is the secondary. We've got some talented guys over there, but they just hadn't played well together. But yeah, I mean, my biggest concern also is the offensive line gelling. You got new leadership there with Coach Searles, and he's great. Love him. But like anytime you change coaches, the chemistry gets thrown off some. And even though we scrimmaged each other, what was that?
That break coming back is huge.
Yeah, it is. That's the biggest part of it. If we didn't have him, I'd be even more concerned. But like just those guys gelling and coming together, being on the same page and being crisp in such a tough opening game. If they can do that, this offense will be historically good.
Oh yeah, we got too many weapons for it not to be good, but that was front.
Yeah, absolutely. So, this concern can be a huge non-concern if they're on the same page right out of the gates. Like the talent of the offensive line is not a concern.
Yes,
it's them playing together. Who do you think the leading rusher will be?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Stet Quavius. He's going to rush for 2,300 yards this year.
Yeah,
just kidding.
If he's doing that, then that means one of 2 things: either they built that around him, or he's running for his life to make it happen.
or they fired Munkin like midseason and hired Paul Johnson as the offensive coordinator.
I think it's going to be Kenny. I think Kenny was going to have a great year as well. So I think it's going to be a three-headed monster back there. Alabama did it for so long. They had a feature, which I think is going to be Kenny. And then they had a lot of comps. I think it's going to be the year that they had Henry and Yeldon. And there was one more that I can't put my head on. But three-headed monster back there, and just
I think that was the first year of Josh Jacobs, maybe.
He might have been the last one, the other one.
It was Josh Jacobs or like Kenyon Drake or something like that.
Yeah, all those guys told the rock. So I think it's going to be running back by committee. Whoever's hot, I think, the carries, and is going to turn into that guy. But the fact that each one can possibly, other than Dejon, because I haven't seen him split out wide, the fact that one of them is going to have to play the cook role. One of them's got to be split out wide. Give you an extra dimension.
I think that's McIntosh.
Speed guy. Safety's got to cover him, or linebacker's got to cover him. I think that guy is going to be dynamic in this offense this year. Although we have three legit tight ends that can do it as well, but the fact that a running back can do it, just adds an extra dimension to your offense.
Absolutely. It's just scary. Yeah, I think it'll be McIntosh. I think we're going to have 2,000-yard guys. I think McIntosh is going to edge Milt, but we're going to have 2,000-yard guys in those two.
Very similar.
I'm really excited about that.
Sony, Chubb, and I think that's what the running back room is going to look like. Very similar to those guys.
Yeah. Who's the leading receiver?
I think AD stays healthy. I think he does well. I think he has year in the sophomore campaign. You can't count on. Now, I'm just talking about receivers here, obviously, but we all know that Brock and that group is going to have a major year from the tight end position. But just as a receiver, I think AD leads the receivers this year, and he the doors for Blaylock and Jackson and those guys. If you want to just go straight for wide two personnel.
Yeah, absolutely. Just go 05 personnel. Just let's do it. Can you believe that? Like Dash mentioned a stat, like he'd be the second Bulldog behind Terrence Edwards to have over 1,000 in a season.
Yeah,
that doesn't seem right.
It's close. I know AJ was, with
I think the year he got suspended, he would have gone over.
Oh yeah, TK Marlin. Michael Booth, that 2012 year would have been. I think Marlon and TK would have went over 800 yards had Marlon not gotten hurt that year. Bennett the year after that had he gotten hurt. So we've had the people, for guys that mark. But knock on wood, hopefully nothing happens this year, and the guy can actually break that.
Yeah.
Every time they're on the verge, something happens. An injury occurs and, it kind of knocks them out.
Usually it happens when they travel to Knoxville.
Luckily, we don't have to play over there this year.
I know, right? Because they're chomping at the bit to win the East. Who's the top guy on defense?
Ooh, I'm looking for Carter to have a great year.
I'm saying Jalen Carter.
A great year. I think he's going to have a phenomenal year.
I think Michael Williams is going to be the top freshman over there.
That's a good one.
I think he's going to be opposite of Nolan Smith. Nolan Smith's going to get about 10 sacks, I think.
Oh, yeah. He's going to make some money this year now. Let me tell you. He's going to – I think he's going to have a breakout year this year. I think he's going to have to become that vocal leader, that dean. That's kind of hard for some to do, but he's the most experienced person. So I think it's going to have to be him.
Yeah. Now, Robert's very active. As is my coughing this week. Robert's very active here in the chat. You guys should join in with them. Our guy Juan's going to fall out of the top 10 this year. That sucks. That sucks at all. Yeah, tight end room maybe way too much to even handle for Flo. and Sewell. Yeah, I agree there. I mean, our tight end room will probably win this game alone against Oregon. I'm excited about Kamari Lassiter. I think, Robert, you mentioned him last week for sure. He's getting more and more notoriety as we speak. And Jamon Dumas-Johnson, I think, will be a big guy in the linebacker room. I think he'll emerge as one of those leaders towards after as the season wears on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I think it's how much talent we do have on that side of the ball. One guy that I'm looking forward to, Chas Chambliss. We saw the big hitting, so we know he's not afraid of contact, which I still think is a BS call, but it was called. He's number 2 behind Nolan. So it's going to be interesting to see how they use all these guys, because production guy. So if you're not getting it done, he's going to find somebody else that's going to do it. With Christopher Smith coming back off injury, that's huge. Poole coming back, deciding to stay, that's huge. So, I mean, secondary is our secondary, but those guys coming back and giving some stability in that secondary is huge. We got Bill that decided to come back as well. He's a leader. He's played a lot, so it's gonna be interesting to see how all these guys are playing. He's gonna be a huge defense. Starks, I mean, you can go on and on, about what's on that side of the ball. So amazing to kind of see exactly where they are, how they're used, with this defense.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I'm excited. It's exciting because there's a bunch of guys that we're not sure about. A lot of talent, but guys that really hasn't stepped into that limelight yet, except of course Jalen Carter, and Chris Smith, who had that pick 6. Maybe he'll have another season-opening pick 6 to start this season, as he did against Clemson up there in the Duke's Mayo Classic in Charlotte. Maybe that'll happen. Well, Troop, let's head on over to BetOnline. Let's talk about some games coming up this weekend. Tennessee's going to kick the thing off this week for the SEC on Thursday against Ball State. I don't think we really need to pick this game, but I just thought it was interesting that they were 33.5-point favorites.
Wait, who's that again?
Tennessee over Ball State.
Oh yeah, they'll cover that.
Yeah, I think they'll cover that too. The game I'm excited about on Thursday is the Backyard Brawl. I haven't seen this rivalry in a minute. Pittsburgh and West Virginia used to be in the same conference. Mm-hmm. That used to determine like Big East championship. Mm-hmm. Now it's Big 12 versus ACC. Pitt is hosting. They're home and they're 7.5-point favorites. How do you see the Backyard Brawl?
From a defensive standpoint, I think Pitt's defense is going to do great for them. West Virginia's going to be spread. They got ours there now, so it's going to be interesting to see how he's used. Some things that he's used. But I think Pitt can hold out, to win this ball game.
Yeah,
I don't think they have enough around them offense to really do much. And I think Pitt, offensively, 2 of their biggest producers last year. One going to the NFL, the great USC. I think enough to actually, win the ball game. Yeah. If the defense can keep them in it.
Yeah, I think Keaton Slovis is going to have a good game, and I think Pittsburgh's defense is going to come out swinging like Aaron Donald, wielding 2 helmets.
Yeah.
Because if you know anything, Pat Narduzzi is going to have a top-notch defense.
Oh, yeah. They're going to be ready. I'll home after our JV game to catch that one.
There you go. Maybe if you win a few more bets, you could be literally flying home from your JV game on your helicopter.
Yeah. Maybe.
See what I did there? get it. Like you're going to have so much money. I think Pitt takes it. I think they cover, but I think they double the spread.
Yeah,
I think they're going to double the spread. I think they're going to score one late.
2-1 ball game at least 10. They can cover it.
Yeah, and I'm unsure about the over. I'm not so sure about the over. I think I might take the under on that one. First game of the year, good defense, a little bit sloppy probably. Another conference game, Missouri and Louisiana Tech. Missouri is 19.5-point favorites, probably the only game they'll be double-digit favorites in on their schedule. They play Louisiana Tech, who, for some reason, Sonny Cumbie comes in as a new coach, and they are scraping the bottom of the barrel in Conference USA, in a conference that saw a mass exodus of teams.
Yeah,
Does Missouri cover this?
No. I just don't see it.
You are the winner. As I get all choked up about that one.
I just don't see, based off recent history, and like I said, it's going to be Vandy bottom of the barrel bowl anyway. I just don't, and I think Vandy will be. After what I saw from Vandy the other night, Missouri. So I don't think Missouri covers the spread.
Right. I don't think they either. I don't think they do either. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be sloppy. 19.5.
No.
So they're going to win. And the over-under set at 59. So I guess Vegas thinks there's going to be a lot of points there. I don't buy it.
I doubt it.
I'm going to stay the hell away from it is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Another interesting one is former Missouri quarterback Connor Bazelak is now a Hoosier, and they host Illinois, who's fresh off a beatdown of – I don't even know who they played, but they beat them down pretty good, which for Illinois to beat down anybody is impressive. Yeah, Wyoming, that's who it was. For Illinois to beat down anybody, it's impressive.
Very first series is great. They come out and run Jeff Wheel, kind of basically what we call it, score on the first series. Big kickoff return. They scored in 3 plays, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
They
got it going. And got it going fast.
At Illinois, they're playing fast and they're playing hard. I kind of like Illinois in this one, just based off what I saw last week. I might change my mind.
I think Indiana's trending down. I'm not so sure about the over/under here, but I would definitely take Illinois +3.
They lost
one,
a lot.
I just think
transfer portal and there's kind of a little turmoil over there in Indiana. After things over there, it kind of hit the fan last year. So, and after what I saw with Illinois, they keep playing the way they're playing. I think they'll win this ball game.
Absolutely. I can't disagree with you there. Arkansas plays Cincinnati. It's an interesting matchup. Cincinnati, a playoff team a year ago, looking to defend their American Conference Championship, but they travel to Fayetteville. They are 6-point underdogs as they roll into Pig Suey. The over/under set at 51. I like Arkansas. I mean, this game is classic. Like, they're setting it up for a Group of 5 SEC upset, but I just don't see it. I think Arkansas is probably going to roll here.
I think I like Arkansas. With what Arkansas has experienced coming back offense, Cincinnati's built off of defense. Unless stop the run, I think Arkansas has a field day because the Alabama game, I know Kendall Browse has figured out a way to run the football against Cincinnati. I think I like Arkansas in this one. Be off right.
Yeah, I think KJ is going to have a big day. Don't really need an analysis here, but Ole Miss opens up as 21.5-point favorites at home against Troy. You have James Madison opening their first FBS conference game against MTSU, their first Fun Belt game. They're 6-point favorites over MTSU. I thought that was interesting. You have an FCS team making the jump to a well-established FBS team, and they're 6-point favorites at home.
Tennessee?
Yeah. That's sad, isn't it?
Middle Tennessee. I think they're going come out with a little show with that one.
They should.
Yes.
Yeah, I think Rick Stockstill's going to retire after this season. It's going to be one of those, hey, you should probably retire.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of those games or one of those seasons. All right, here's one. It's pretty much a pick 'em, but Utah on the road is 2.5-point favorites at Florida in the Swamp.
I'm taking that bet, taking Utah.
Yeah, I'm taking Utah as well. I don't think Florida's ready for that one. The Napier era is going to get off to a rocky start because they got Kentucky the next week, I think. Kentucky opens as 17-point favorites over Miami of Ohio. Not going to take that one.
No.
Not going to take anything on that. Notre Dame, Ohio State. Ohio State is 17.5-point favorites at home over Notre Dame.
Ooh.
People are picking both of these teams to be in the playoff. How can the spread be that wide?
Man, I think Coach Freeman goes back to alma mater.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that they let him embarrass like that. So I'm going to take Notre Dame.
Yeah, I think they lose by 14 at worst case scenario. And I'd be inclined to try the over because I think there's going to be a lot of points scored here. The over is at 59.
Yeah. Unless the Ohio State got better on defense, score, but they can't stop the forward pass or the run. So there's that.
Right. So a few more notable games here. South Carolina opens with Georgia State, 13-point favorites. Alabama opens 41-point favorites over Utah State. Mississippi State is 15.5 points over Memphis. The next one we want to pick, LSU, FSU. Now, FSU had a pretty good showing, albeit against Duquesne. They only come in as 3-point underdogs in the Bayou Classic in New Orleans against LSU. Against the family.
Florida State's defense showed me a lot on Saturday. My wife's a big Florida State fan. So we watched that game against the school of deaf and blind. But what I saw when their starters were in, they were very dominant. Lo and behold, if they get an injury and their backups have to go in, then it's going to get ugly real quick. I think the dominant factor of new regime at LSU, and that defense that LSU has will not let Florida State do anything special, in that game in Tallahassee this past weekend. Even though it didn't show a lot, unless they got some tricks up their sleeve, LSU wins. But I think it's going to be close. Stay healthy, and the first group can, kind of maintain. I think LSU wins. Than most people think it will be.
I think LSU covers. I think they win. They cover. The over/under. I'm going to take the under probably. I think it's going to be one of those like the game's going to be in the 20s.
Yeah, I'm also going to as you know.
Yeah, I think
getting dumped on here lately.
Well, I think it's in the Superdome, so I think they're okay.
Neutral.
Neutral other side. I think it's neutral. Kind of like the Georgia game is neutral. It's not really
weather
neutral.
Will not be a factor.
Georgia Tech at home, 21.5-point dogs to Clemson. I think Clemson rolled. I think I would be inclined to take Clemson in the over.
I think I'm going to take Clemson here. I don't know about that. I kind of got to see how they are offensively. First, I know they're going to be good defensively to stay, even though Venables gone. But
one of Georgia Tech's best defensive players now plays for Ole Miss.
That's very true. I don't know.
So
let me think on that. I'm taking Clemson, but
I'm taking Clemson in the over.
I'll think about it for a second.
Think about it. Think about it. Okay, so Georgia, here's the game of the week. Georgia minus 17 in the bins, according to BetOnline.
Nobody gets in trouble between now and then, which I doubt will happen. at Georgia. I
No.
don't think Oregon yet. I think they're pretty much in the rebuilding aspect of their team. I think Coach Laning's going to do a great job. But I don't think it's this year that they've been taking Georgia all the way.
I think finally Stetson's in the driver's seat. There's too many weapons there. I think worst case scenario for Georgia, it's a 31-10 game. Could be worse depending on how that momentum ball gets rolling. So I like the Dogs to cover.
Yeah, I'm thinking very much like the Michigan game. How he gets hot early. Defense kind of establishes kind of what they're going, and we just kind of roll.
Stetson was pissed off in that Michigan game.
Yeah,
I think he needs
pissed off too because no doubt though. If I was him,
I think he needs a few.
My show dog here.
Yeah, I think he needs a few people to doubt him so he gets pissed off. So
absolutely.
But as we wrap up, yes, go dogs go hunting. Duck hunt. It's a duck hunt. That's the title of our show. As we wrap up, some things to expect hopefully throughout the week. Israel, I think you and I need to post our bets. Let's say our top 3 picks. So we'll play a 3-game parlay.
Okay.
So if you were to pick a 3-game parlay, what would you pick? So think about that. We'll post that on social media coming out later this week. As news comes out, as news unfolds throughout the course of the week, we will keep you updated on that. Things will change. Lines may change. Things we say tonight may be completely different by the time Saturday rolls around. Who knows? So I'll post mine. You can post your picks, things like that, who you're going to take, and we'll see how it all shakes out. I will give you the disclaimer that I can't guarantee that you'll win, but these are the chances I'm taking. So There you go.
Absolutely. I'm excited about this season, man. It's, I think I'm a little bit more excited from the simple fact that Georgia won national championship. So I'm kind of looking forward. We still have the hangover. We're still hungry.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of interested to see kind of what LSU does. Does Clemson bounce back this year? What does Miami do?
Yeah.
Those are just a couple of teams, just off the top of my head. How about North Carolina bouncing back? Gene Chizik's defensive coordinator. Sam Howell leaves, and they just they don't miss a beat. He got back there. I mean, he let it ride last night. He did a great. So it's just going to be interesting to see what teams were on the bubble last year. Did they get better? Or did they get worse?
Exactly.
Vandy got better.
Vandy did get better. Nebraska did not. A lot of people picking Nebraska to win the Big Ten West. Not so sure that's going to happen.
It's kind of tough going on start off.
And Northwestern looked pretty good.
What was it, 10, 28, 7, something like that.
Yeah.
And they never scored that.
Absolutely. So, but we're gonna knock off here. Expect the audio version of this to go up here very, very soon. You can follow us on those things that are scrolling down below. Bleav in Dogs on all networks. You can follow Troopstar28 on all social media platforms. Coach Burton 36 on Twitter. Coach Corey Burton on Instagram. And, of course, you can always follow the Bleav Network. We thank you for joining us. We hope to see you back here next week. We hope your picks land. We hope your team wins. If you are a fan of another team that just happened to stumble upon our show and just needed some other content, we hope your team wins. But if you're a dog fan and you're listening to this thing, obviously, let's go Dogs.
Go.
And we'll see you back here next week, hopefully with a dub. Peace out. Go Dogs.